Certainly proud to get a win. Really proud of our team. Maybe as team a win as I've been a part of in a while, and just special teams, defense, offense, everybody making some plays that we had to do against. I knew it would be a really good team. The game went kind of like I thought it would go. I knew it was going to be one of those kinds of games. You never know how the yards go and the big plays go, but I knew the strength of their football team was clearly up front on both sides of the ball. And there's times that was obvious we didn't do a very good job of blocking them or getting off blocks here at times during the game. But, man, I thought we won the fourth quarter. I think the fourth quarter it just completely changed. You could see the ability for us trying to get a little push, defensively getting after those guys, getting after the passer. Ian Williams, I just look at so many guys made plays. Ian, man, I've said he's the best in the country, and he is. And, just trust in him. Devin Hester, big time kickoff return. And I told some people, I think, to see Jaquan Smith get that ball, it was, 3rd and 3, and we knew if we got 3 yards, it's game's over. If not, we're going to have to either go forward or kick a field goal or do something. And, guy hadn't played in, 21, 22 months. And for him to come back from the just devastating injury he had to do that, he gave us a little spark there at the end of the game. So really, again, really proud of our team.
Coach, these are wonderful information sources, but they don't have guts on there. And I thought that was about as gutsy a fourth quarter as you could see. And as you already mentioned, Jaquan kind of put the cherry on top.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, I told our team, I just think, I don't know, I watched them today, and they were who I thought they were. I thought they were going to be a tough group that was going to hang in there. We've got some ability. Got the ability. Now, we're nowhere near where we got to be. But I just really proud of how they hung in there, played. We stayed positive. I thought the sideline was that way the whole day, just in all areas, and we just kept making enough plays to give ourselves a chance. And but yeah, guts and a little ability and all that'll go a long way. So I'm really proud of our guys. I thought we got to clean some stuff up. Just had a couple of big penalties. I thought we were really in pretty good shape in coverage a couple times. We maybe panicked a little bit. The drive for the half, I'd already told, Coach Roper, I said, I want to go in 17-7. I'm assuming Ian's going to make the kick, and I think we had a 3rd and 3, and we just got beat on a block. We had a good play we liked and just got beat on the block, and they hit the ball. So that was a huge play in the game. And then the third quarter, we really had a pretty good drive, didn't get anything out of it, and then they just got after us. They get the PI, they get the deep ball. But again, for our guys just kind of hanging there, nobody panicked. And we got some field goals, and again, dudes just knew it was going to be that kind of game.
Talon, first game obviously was a big one. Just talk about what was the communication like on the safety blitz there? Is that an instinct or something you're seeing, or are you communicating with Dwayne? What made that play call work there?
It all starts with Coach Vaughn. Just having the trust to make that play call for us. He kind of leaves it in our hands to look at the defense. What the offense is giving us, and just make that play. So he made the call, so we got to go make the play. That's all it was. Great play call.
Coach, in this particular game, like they was saying, it was about guts. What would you say was the biggest thing coming into the second quarter that you needed to get your team to realize in order to get this victory?
Well, we're still we're a relatively experienced group, but we're still a young group. Chase Gregoric, really, Chase redshirted last year. I'm sure he got in the game at some point in time. We're really counting on him being the starter there, and Jaden couldn't go. Ty Coster at nose couldn't go. And we had a couple other guys that didn't go. But it's just a matter, just do what you've been coached to do. A little bit of execution. We've harped on the execution aspect of it. And I just thought we were a little firmer on blocks, as the game went on. We did a better job of getting off blocks. I think the thing that really was, which we knew we were expecting it, I knew the quarterback was going to make some plays with his feet, and he did. And I think the other thing they did, Washington, they decided they're just going to max protect and throw some one-on-one routes. And, it's not a bad way to go. Sometimes you get a couple of PIs. Whether you agree with all of them or not, I don't know. But, they end up being pretty big. They caught the one. I thought we had a chance to maybe hit a couple of deep balls. I think that's something we'll continue to get better. I just think we have the ability to stretch the field with our guys. But I just, again, it's, coaching and first time you've really played, this team has. And you just hope you'll be that much better next week because of I think we came out pretty healthy. I think we'll pick up a couple guys here in the next week or two. And just can we keep improving?
Trey, I'm not sure the stats will bear this out, but it looked as if you became more self-assured as the game went along. Like in the first half, particularly in the second quarter, there were times where it was a pretty small opening. It looked like you didn't get burned for it, but forced the ball in, and you seemed to have receivers who were more open and more touch and finding them in the second half. You looked like you got more and more confident.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think as the game goes on, you get a little more comfortable. We start have some situational play calls. We kind of know what they're in to get some guys more open. But I think an emphasis this entire offseason and my development was, got to quit turning the ball over. So I think that, throughout the game, and throughout preparation and all of this offseason, that's been an emphasis that we've really focused on. So, really been trying to, take what the defense has given me and, make open throws when they're there and, trying to not force the ball as much. I think that we did a little bit better job of that. Obviously, there's always, room to improve on that. You say I didn't get burned for it, and that's true. Obviously, we'll see on film tomorrow that there are some things that we have to clean up that we can still make these big plays on offense that were there and we didn't hit them today.
Evan, I'm sorry, I don't have a number in your news. I'm not sure. Just being a true freshman and being your first game, how was the whole? I mean, were you nervous? Can you kind of just take us through your day? And it just looked like, a lot of those quick hitters really paid off and helped loosen things up for the ground game. I thought in the fourth quarter, it was able to run the ball a little bit better because of some of the things you had done all day.
Going into the game and before the game and warm-ups, I was a little nervous still because I'm a freshman, first college game. But, as I went on in the game, I got more comfortable and just when the ball came to me, I just made the plays that I know I can make. So that's just what I normally do.
Josh, you guys, as the defensive line, as a collective unit, really started to sort of hit your stride in the fourth quarter. You had the play, I think, on the pitch to the back, and then I felt like Malachi Dobbins was big. I know it doesn't show up on the stat sheet how much pressure, but they weren't able to account for a lot of those guys up front late in the game. Can you just talk about how you guys got so strong in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I think it goes back to Coach Vaughn and the preparation he put in with showing a bunch of different looks at the offense and just confusing the offensive line if we're blitzing, if we're not blitzing, and then that frees up for us like one-on-ones and then watching film and seeing their formation and just anticipating what's coming.
Coach and Josh, it looked like in the fourth quarter that we had the edge as far as strength, stamina, whatever. It looked like they got a little tired, and we kind of took advantage of them, especially our defensive line.
Well, I thought that too. It's funny. To have as cool of an August as we've had early in the game. I thought our protection got better, and again, a little bit towards our defense. They were, like I said, they decided they were going to max protect and throw one-on-one routes, which makes it tough because they always got you outnumbered. But I thought Josh and Malachi in the fourth quarter were knocked back, and we got several holding calls, which probably should have got a few more. But man, they disrupted everything. So I just thought the knockback, and we just played better team defense. We were getting pressure, and I know Taylor and those guys appreciate it when they're getting a little more pressure back there. And we're going to play some man, and we're going to mix it up on people. But I thought that was huge, and I give Joe Novataski a lot of credit for that. I just think what our guys have done, all year, but largely this past summer, and then the way they worked in August. And again, I think it clearly paid off for us in the fourth quarter. I thought even offensively we ran the ball a little better. Still work there in progress. Guys still eliminate some negative plays. First games are a little different. They changed up some stuff. We changed up some stuff, and it's making some adjustments. And again, I knew that was clearly the strength of their football team were the guys up front on both sides of the ball.
As noted preseason by you, and this was a game where I'm sure you would have liked to run the ball better, but the fourth quarter was demonstration of the fact that it loosened up and you found room, and it just showed how running and passing complement each other when both of them are working. And, it may not have been world beating yet, but it got better.
Well, it did, and Trey made a couple good plays with his feet. And I think a little bit, if you go back, there's Jaquan. He had played in almost 2 years playing. Gavin's still a young guy playing tailback. He was a quarterback 2 years ago, and I think he's getting better and better. C.J. Nettles got in there a few times. First time he's ever been in a game. He's like Evan. And, again, I just think those guys are going to continue to get better if we just, stay the course. Got to be our own biggest critic. And I just told him I think next week will be a bigger challenge for us, particularly mentally, just preparation and it's just how do you handle stuff? Can you stay humble? Can you just go back to work and again be your biggest critic? And if we do those things, we got a chance to get better.
Coach, with this being said, last year you had a lot of players that were injured and hurt, and they was able to get experience. Do you think that really paid off today? Because I saw a lot of changing out, and it just seemed like no one ever missed a beat whenever the next group went in.
Yeah, I think no doubt there's some of that. There were some guys we redshirted. We still tried to use the 4-game rule a year ago, to keep those guys' eligibility. And look at a number of guys, up front defensively, just really across our football team. So, again, I like this group. I just like the way they work. I like, they like being together, and they're locked in. We don't seem to, I think, really got a chance to have a really good team. If we'll keep doing things we have to do to improve.